Chris Kelly
on 104.9 Virgin Radio.
You treat me like your boyfriend and trust me like a very best friend.
We've got 50% of Tegan and Sara on the phone. Sara, how's it going?
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, of course. Here to talk about your 8th studio album with Tegan. Love You to Death, available June 3rd. Excited for this one.
We're very excited too. I'm glad you're feeling the excitement.
I am. Well, Boyfriend, we've been playing for a little bit, obviously the first single. Just the other day, I heard the world premiere of Stop Desire, and it's got me excited for the rest of it. I don't know what to expect, but I'm hoping it's more of like this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the record is, it's only 10 songs. We tried to make it a lean, mean beast. We wanted everything to, in a way, we sort of gave ourselves the challenge of, can every song be a single? I don't really think every song will be a single, but we wanted to make sure that every song was incredibly strong and that it would stand on its own. And it's like the record's really great. I think there's a little bit of like, there's something for everyone, for the people who are looking for something that's maybe not as straight ahead pop. There's definitely a few songs on the record that are, a little bit more quirky and sort of outsider, but there's also lots of the pop stuff for people to get excited about.
You're not pulling a Taylor Swift and releasing Everyone as a single?
Well, I won't say no to releasing Everyone as a single, but...
Kiss me like your boyfriend.
This is right on the heels of your world tour that kicks off in the fall. We're excited to have you guys here October 8th in Edmonton. Talk to me about this, because you've partnered with Plus One for this tour, and $1 from every ticket sold is going towards that. But where does that go, and what does that do?
For us, being the artist that we are, and sort of coming up in a world where sometimes we felt like we were raising awareness and visibility for ourselves and our community. I think that as we've now seen our popularity rise, the LGBT community still needs us. There's the trans community still needs us. But there are also people all over the world in all kinds of situations. Just off the top of my head, we have like the Syrian refugee crisis. We have the Black Lives Matter movement in the United States. There are all sorts of things that are happening around the world, and our initiative as artists to match ourselves with organizations who are invested and interested in those causes is just to continue to raise money and visibility for people who need that extra support. So you can know that this is a reputable organization. A lot of fantastic bands have supported them over their careers. The first one, one of the people who started it was Arcade Fire. So I think we're really excited and honored to be associated.
Let's go back to the album for a second. Between Boyfriend and Stop Desire, which I was telling you I heard the other day, they're both very poppy songs, much like your last album, Heartthrob, in 2013. Great tracks, but not. You're saying some of the other songs on the album have a bit different sounds, because these two so far aren't the traditional Tegan and Sara that a lot of longtime fans may know.
True. Yep. I think we've sort of had a natural progression over the last 15 years. Specifically, I think the thing that's missing for some of the fans who knew us from older material is that more, alternative indie rock sound. But, for us, it's a progression. At some point, I started listening, to pop music and electronic music and hip hop. And I just got more interested in that production style. And, totally boring anecdote, but I didn't grow up playing guitar. I actually grew up playing piano and took theory, and guitar was kind of part of my teenage years in the 90s, listening to bands like, the Violent Femmes and the Pixies and Smashing Pumpkins and Courtney Love. And I think, it was sort of grew out of the guitar, or at least using the guitar in that guitar way that I was using it. So, the sort of shift into pop music has been, it's been an evolution. And the good thing is that the old album still exists. So for people who are, who want to hear that music, it's always going to be around. We love playing it live. But we're just really excited to sort of be starting a new era of our band and feeling the support and freedom to sound different.
Well, I know, and so many artists, especially now, the past couple of years, it seems, have talked about, evolving and following that evolution with the industry and evolving their bands or their craft just to, not necessarily just to stay relevant, but just to kind of move with the flow. And you guys are doing it in such a tasteful way to stay true to Tegan and Sara. Obviously, you're always going to be Tegan and Sara, but stay true to the original Tegan and Sara sound.
Where I wash your back against the wall. Trust when I promise never let you fall.
Is there anything on the album that is more that type of taste?
I think that the thing for me is about songs. Whenever I think about the material, like the songs that have stuck with us over the years, like that we continue to play, like off the top of my head, I'm thinking about a song like Walking with a Ghost, or there's a track called Back in Your Head that I know people really liked and was a single. I mean, those are just songs. Like, yes, they had guitar on them, or they fit that kind of indie rock kind of vibe, but they're songs. Ultimately, it's lyrics, it's melodies, it's structure, and in my mind, we should be able to, we should play those songs, but we don't always have to play them the way that we recorded them. It's just one version of what that song is. And so, although this album doesn't have rock music or indie rock music on it, it's, to me, the songs are what continues to keep people who like our band invested in our band. And I think, I know every band says this, but I really do think that we are at the top of our game. I think we're writing the best songs we've ever written. And I say that knowing that there's material that we've written, 15 years ago that I absolutely adore and love. But in terms of the actual songwriting and the ability to sit down and craft something, I know I'm writing better songs.
You turn me on like you want your boyfriend, but I don't wanna be your secret anymore.
In the songwriting, the single we're playing right now, Boyfriend, was it written just by you, or is it always a team effort with you and Tegan?
We always start sort of on our own. I'll be at home writing stuff, and then once I sort of get it to a place where I feel like it's at least in the ballpark, like almost finished, I'll take it to Tegan and she might give feedback or try different things. This song very specifically, I sort of left it alone. I wasn't even sure if it was good enough for the record, and when we got into the studio with Greg Kirsten, who produced the album, he and Tegan had lots of feedback. We extended the song a little bit. We fooled around with the production a bit, and before we knew it, it really had sort of become a front runner for single. So I was really excited about that. But I like the song. I think it's been an interesting reaction. I wasn't sure if people would be, would get it, or if it was going to be like the kind of thing where like people didn't understand the reference or something. But I think everyone's having fun with the song, and we're really excited by the response.
Well, and it's a personal experience for you. Anyways, talk to me about the story behind the song for you.
Yeah, I had about 5 years ago, I started dating someone who we were just like casual, but she was dating someone else and casually, and it was a guy. And so sometimes I would joke around and say, like, what do I have to do to make myself your boyfriend? So it would be like, it would be sort of like these like tongue-in-cheek kind of jokes, like what if I take out the garbage? Is that, like, am I your boyfriend? Like that sort of thing. But
gotta change the oil in your car.
yeah, exactly. All these really dumb gendered things that obviously lots of girls and boys do different things and whatever. But I sort of was having fun with the idea of being her boyfriend, and so the song is sort of definitely a playful approach, but the serious part of the song is just, which I think is relatable to everyone, and we've all been in that situation where someone is, kind of treating you like you're their boyfriend or their significant other, but they're not yet ready to make it serious. And I think the song is kind of about that moment where you realize for you it's very serious, and you want the other person to kind of lock it down. You want them to make you their boyfriend.
And 5 years later, is it locked down? Is it serious now?
Locked down. It's serious. We're still together. Yeah.
I guess you wrote a song about it, so it must be.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she might think it's embarrassing, but yes, she and we're still together, and I'm still taking out the garbage for her. So.
Boyfriend.
You treat me like your boyfriend.
Tegan and Sara has always been so good at breaking those walls and the molds of those gender norms and that kind of thing. So huge kudos there, because there's always been changes,
Right.
and especially recently in the world and the music industry. So it's great to see that you have kind of always been expressing that message in your music, but still to this day, still pushing forward with it. So it's touching.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm really excited, and I'm sort of. It makes me feel really happy to see how the world has kind of changed. In the time, I even think about like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know if we could release a song like Boyfriend and feel like it could be so warmly accepted by so many people. And it's annoying because I think that. I've never had to justify why I relate to a song that a straight person writes. Like, I just, if, some of my favorite music was written by people who are heterosexual, but it doesn't make me any less able to relate to it or connect to it. So I feel like, Tegan and I have always been very confident that our music should be able to connect to anyone, no matter what your gender or sexuality is. But it is refreshing to see how the world has sort of changed, and that has become less of an issue for our band, so we're stoked about it.
All right, well, Boyfriend, the song you're talking about off of your album, we're playing it right now. Love You to Death is the name of the album. It's available June 3rd. Sara, thanks for taking some time to hang out today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
I don't wanna be your secret anymore.
Chris Kelly.